What's happening, guys? My name is OTG and I'd like to welcome you to a brand new episode of our career mode series on F1 2012. Long time since I've done one of these. I think it must have been around January, mid-January. But we're back in F1 and we're back in the race, and we're here in Valencia for the Valencia Grand Prix, and we qualified on pole. Now, it's a weird one what happened here. I'll let you watch the gameplay in the background while I explain what happened. So I've had a break from F1 career mode. I just didn't find it as exciting. I did the qualifying, and the qualifying was really weird because the top three drivers in Q1 were Pastor Maldonado, Vitaly Petrov and myself, and I wasn't even faster on the track. I was struggling. In Q2, I went through in pole. Alonso was second, Maldonado was third, and Vitaly Petrov went through in about fifth. So Petrov was through, and I was thinking at this point, okay, surely they must be stepping up their game now. Petrov maybe hasn't really got a chance. They're all going to come out fighting. We're just going to go into this easy. They're going to go into this thinking, yeah, easy. I'm going to be down the bottom with looking for 8th and 9th. Went out there, drying, done what I normally do where I set a fast lap. First lap was okay, but then I was shunted down to 5th. Second lap, I went out and I just smashed it by over 1.5 seconds. I was really looking just to get the correct time. 1.5 seconds faster than Fernando Alonso, who was in second. And then they went out for another one. They didn't improve. Fernando Alonso and Vettel only gained like 100th of a second on me, and then I upped the gap to 1.7 seconds. So the tyres I was on were fine, and I was a little bit like, okay, we're going to have to do another Canada. I'm just going to be defending the whole time. I'm just going to struggle so much. And then I just see the weather, and it's raining, and this is just the perfect weather conditions. No DRS. They're going to struggle to overtake me, especially on a street circuit. And as long as I can get my braking right, which I do, which you'll be seeing, I might lock my brakes a little bit, but I get around all the corners perfectly fine. And you know how pleased I was with this race? I didn't have to do a single flashback, and that was so nice. And I really enjoyed this race. But we have got Mark Webber, Sebastian Vettel and Fernando Alonso all on our tails. And of course, it's in the rain in these intermediate tyres. And you don't actually have to go in for a pit stop. So normally on lap 6, I would show, on the lap I go in for a pit stop, I'd normally show that. But I think for lap 5, 6 and 7, where I'm actually just going to show you the gameplay, because it's quite an interesting all the way through. Now on a 14 lap race, it was quite difficult to keep the car on the racing line and actually keep it on the track. Now you'll see all them skid marks, and you see there I'm locking my brake just to keep it. And I think there I might have got shunted a little bit. Now it's hard to see obviously with this wet camera. I mean, it's nice to look at, but I mean it's a little bit annoying to commentate over, and actually when you're driving you don't notice it as much. It just makes it more exciting. But yeah, you just have to go ahead and see what we could do. Mark Webber didn't look like he was going to do it, and you see there Pastor Maldonado down in I think he was in 5th or something. But yeah, Vitaly Petrov, just so you know, he did come in 10th. He qualified in 10th, and he was obviously looking to get a nice result. I think where that gap is at the moment, he was there. So if Vitaly Petrov can get himself a point, that is going to be fantastic for Caterham F1. Getting points on the board against some of their rivals like HRT, because HRT in this game aren't that bad. It's weird. I don't think any of them have DRS, which is really weird. Because I swear to God, Caterham and Marussia had DRS. I thought it was just HRT. But we're going around now, and you can see that we're just going around each corner and trying to take it perfectly as possible. Mark Webber was definitely not the scariest guy in this whole race. It was Sebastian Vettel, because if I knew he could get past Webber, which he's obviously going to have a problem, Vettel, to go ahead and win this one. I mean, Webber had a look at a little bit, but Webber never really made any crucial attempts to overtake me. And I was more worried about the fact if Fernando Alonso or Sebastian Vettel get behind me, because I know exactly what them two are capable of, and will easily overtake me if they get the opportunity. So we're on lap 6, and I'm just a little bit worried whether I can hold it off. And you see there, Pastor Maldonado is in 4th and has overtaken Fernando Alonso. Now Pastor can do me one favour. That favour would be if he can just get stay in front of Alonso and hold up the pack, then I can bring these Red Bulls to a group of 3. Now if it's me, Mark Webber and Vettel, then I'm going to feel a lot more confident, because I know that I'm not going to start to slip down the ranking, and if I do make a mistake I will just take 3rd position. So it's a little bit like a well-oiled team, really, in the way that we did this race, and a really good strategy from my point of view, and also Pastor, to get himself into 4th. And our team is really looking good now. he started off the season quite poorly, Pastor, and then gradually got a lot better and a lot more consistent as it got to the Catalonia, I think it was. He got his first points, and then Catalonia he done well. Monaco, I think he out-qualified me easily because I had a shocking qualifying session, and he out-qualified me then. Got himself into the top lot, got some points. I think he outraced me in that one. I'm not sure. I can't remember. Yeah, he did outrace me. Yeah, I do remember now. It was a very close race. He outraced me there. Canada, I won, of course, and he got some points, I think. And here in Valencia, we could be on to a Williams 1-4, which isn't bad. So Williams won, Red Bull, Williams 1-4, and Red Bull 2-3, which isn't bad. Flying the flag for Britain as normal. I am 2 consecutive race wins. And our race after this is England, so if I can win the Silverstone in the Great British Grand Prix for the United Kingdom, flying the flag, that would be absolutely fantastic. But here we've got to, my main priority at this point was to hopefully hold on to this win and hopefully get 25 points and push forward our chances of winning. At this point of in the race, not in the race, sorry, at the start of this race weekend, I went into qualifying 5th or 6th, it might have been, behind Jenson Button and Lewis Hamilton. And I can tell you, Lewis Hamilton and Jenson Button don't actually score points in this whole entire race, which is very shocking. Them two are a bit of on and off. I think in real life, McLaren are very much missing Lewis Hamilton. They don't seem to be as well oiled as when they had him at the team. Sergio Perez has got some big boots to fill. So is Lewis Hamilton, really. Michael Schumacher. It's just a shame Michael Schumacher didn't prove what he's worth when he was at Mercedes. Obviously, he's got 7 world titles to his name. It would have been lovely to have seen him win a race at least. He got on the podium, which is really just as nice. But you can see on the mini-map, the gap is just huge from our 3 cars now to Pastor Maldonado. So I'm definitely not holding these 2 up. And I mean, they're looking for moves, but I'm definitely keeping pace. They're keeping pace. I reckon they could get away probably if they got past me. But if they don't make the moves, they're not going to get there. And Pastor's really helping me, making me feel more confident about the race and the position I'm in. So we're going into this, and going into lap 8, we'll be coming round in section 3 on lap 7. Then we'll be coming on to lap 8. This is when I start to panic. We've got 4 extra laps of fuel, and if we do make a mistake, we'll be in 14th. And my front wing comes off or something, I have to do something, I'll be down in 14th to 18th, which isn't bad. But just don't want to make any mistakes, just want to keep this car on track. And you see now, I actually started to improve my times a little bit. I started to go all out speed, and I was hitting the lines, and I was going, and I just realised, I come back to, I was on cloud 9, and then I just come down to earth, and I was like, okay, just take the corner, don't make mistakes, get a corner cutting warning, which is a bit stupid of me. But just trying to get as fast as I can and as far away as possible from these 2. And we get a 1.8 gap from Mark Webber, but I can tell you now that is not going to stay the way it is. Them 2 are definitely going to keep up with me very shortly, and they'll be back on my tails as we go into the last few laps. Things got a bit more interesting on lap 12. I started to look like I could make some mistakes. I definitely struggled to keep the car on track. That was one of my big problems, as you saw there, just going a little bit wide on the chicane. But I really did struggle with the rear end. The car just seemed to want to go to the side so many times, and you might see it 1 or 2 times in this video where I just start to lose my braking a little bit, make too many mistakes, and the cars are right back behind me. And I lose the front end quite a lot on many different occasions. And you saw there 3 different times just making mistakes, and they're right on me now, and I was panicking at this point. Just really didn't want to make any mistakes because it was first to first, pole to win already in Canada. Could we do a pole to win in Valencia? My favourite track is Catalonia, and it seems that the Brit is quite good in Spain. So we're going around the corners and hopefully going to try and get the best possible outcome going around these corners, setting well, I don't think I set fastest laps, but I was definitely pushing for as fast as I can, just using all my curves going around these corners. 4 extra laps obviously. Now we've upgraded it to 12th to 16th now. Not my fastest there, but there's a 1.2 gap to Mark Webber, and that's crucial for me. We have to keep that gap from Mark Webber. If we don't, then I'm definitely going to lose places, and Mark Webber's going to get in front of me, and never do you want that to happen. Because Mark will take advantage of you, and that's something you never need to see, because he will get in front of you and then he'll be off. And same with Sebastian and Fernando. If they get in front of you, you are screwed in every way. And you can see now we're going around lap 8, coming on to lap 9, and then it will cut to lap 13 and 14. as we're going into the final few laps with Pastor Maldonado coming round, and hopefully we can get a 1-4 for Williams, cutting the corner there. And that's something I've always wondered. There's a track in a part of Monza in one of the corners which you're able to cut, and it's the same here, and I think there's a few in Catalonia as well, and in Silverstone they let you off a little bit as well. So what is it? How do you take your corners is a question I'd like to know. Do you sometimes cut them in sprint mode, or if you're in a career mode? And do you know your limits? Because you will eventually get a penalty, and that's something you never want to do. And you see, they've got my limits and I know where I'm going. Hitting as many apexes as possible. As we come onto the last lap, as I think I've done before, I go into super commentator mode, going onto the AstroTurf there with 2 laps left of fuel left in the rich fuel mode. So Mark Webber looking up behind us, but he doesn't make a move. You can see the gap there, Vitaly Petrov holding them up there, and Pastor Maldonado holding up that group. So it's me, Webber and Vettel who can take the race win here, and that's it. Coming around now, we're hitting the apex, braking so much more earlier than we would in the dry. It's also like in China when it rains. You've got to brake so much more early, and you've got to brake a good 100 meters earlier than you normally would. Just clipping the AstroTurf with my front left tyre there, and we're coming around now using just a little bit of curves to give us a boost, and we'll use the remaining curves as we go past the Pirelli wall, getting 175 miles per hour, braking and hitting the apex, cutting the corner a little bit and going a little bit wide. But you can be excused for that when you're in my sort of situation where you're being attacked by 2 Red Bulls, the 2 fastest cars in this game. Now Mark Webber's unrealistic in this game. He gets very much consistent, beats his teammate quite often, which is something that doesn't happen. I really like the game to be more realistic. Coming around now onto the final corner, and lap 14, Mark Webber making a move up my inside, but doesn't stick with it. Was wondering there if I clipped him, but we can't be sure unless we had some sort of instant replay system, which I don't actually have on me at the moment. Coming around now, we're 0.6 seconds slower than we normally would, 600ths of a second slower than we normally are. 0.8 seconds behind is Mark Webber, 0.3 seconds behind him is Vettel, and I believe that he's about 3 seconds behind is Pastor Maldonado. So we're coming around, and we're trying to get as far away from them as possible. Going around now, hitting the apex perfectly. It was almost as if our tyres are just coming off the wall now. They're bright orange, setting off fastest personal best first sector, with Mark Webber right up behind us with 0.7 700ths of a second behind us. Now coming around, if we hit this apex perfectly, you get so much pride going around, and that is beautiful. That's one of my favourite corners. You hit the wall a little bit accidental, using curves to half a bar, going a little bit wide, going past the DHL signs, the sponsorship, the official fuel, I'm not sure 100%, but we've got enough fuel to go. We would rejoin in 9th place. Coming around, if we get this perfectly, we do. Going around, don't hit the second apex though. We get the first, then just going around the racing line to try and keep us on the track, to hold the car well, and just keep on going there. Going around there, hitting the apex, but we do go a little bit wide onto the AstroTurf. Now this corner, you never know the racing line, but we're going to go around, hit under the Pirelli banner and the Santander. Go around now, going to get the braking zone, fastest middle sector, getting the braking. If we hit this perfectly, it should be easy. We hit it beautifully. Now it should be simple. 400ths of a second behind me is Webber, and behind him by 400 seconds is Vettel. So if we can really push out all boundaries now, we've got a little bit of curves left, we have to use it. Going around, and we're just going to try our best. We're going to take a race win here in Valencia. Going around now, braking early. Mark Webber looking for a move to both sides of Sebastian Vettel. Sebastian Vettel looking up the inside of Mark Webber, but he closes the door, and we do in fact win the Valencia Grand Prix. Celebrations all round for Williams F1. A first and fourth place for their drivers, and Pastor, even when he does really good, I seem to outperform him. So you can see there, Fernando Alonso 5th, Kobayashi 6th, Rosberg 7th, Schumacher 8th, De Resta 9th, 10th is Vitaly Petrov. Well done, mate. Well played indeed. Jenson Button and Kimi Raikkonen were kept behind him. So was Grosjean, Lewis Hamilton, Hulkenberg, Jean-Eric Vergne and Daniel Ricciardo. So we do take it. Sergio Perez and Felipe Massa will be bitterly disappointed with their performances. But guys, we have done it. We've won our second race. Next is Britain and the Great British Grand Prix. I'm going to fly the flag for Great Britain. We've got 4 different drivers who can go ahead and do it. 26 points off the leader of the championship, 23 points off Vettel. We're ahead of Hamilton by 2, and we're ahead of Jenson by 4. But guys, I'd just like to say thank you guys for watching. My name is OTG. I'll see you guys in whatever my next video is. Bye guys.